Let's get out here and sit down and see if I can figure out what I'm going to talk about. Anyway, really a great, great. Double-licious, what are you doing? You got to come in, huh? You're on your way in? What? You don't give a fuck? Okay. Usually he lets me know. Verbally. I'm hungry. He's got a lot of words. I don't know them all. His mom had a lot more words. Shit, his mom used hundreds of words. But he's the only kitten out of all hers that picked that trait up where he talks a lot. Yes, I hear you. And there's all these other neighbor cats over here too. This place is like cat central. And that's another thing that I'm... Okay, manifestation. Go ahead and sit down. Look at this. This is my little sanctuary. This is like my little super protected private space. My inner, outer me. And, you know, I can lock the gate and put a posted sign out there. And unless you got a warrant, you can't even come in no matter who the fuck you are. This is all me. And, it's symbolic of something that's going on inside me. Subconscious level. I mean, what is inside us? We go within to do different inner work and understanding of ourselves. Yeah, everybody gets that. It's going to work. Not like that. Yeah, that works. But, whatever that inner sphere of ourselves is, you know, probably the subconscious. You know, the subconscious is there as an inner part of ourselves. And, you know, and then there's the soul. And I think if you can go deeper than that, you find in the really core of your being is eternity. But that's way beyond what we're talking about right now. We're talking about 3D, earth, reality, illusion. If we take the idea that we can interpret this reality on a symbolic level, like a dream, the way we wake up and remember our dreams and realize that they're not making sense in a logical way, but if we look at them symbolically, then they begin to make more sense. And I think that's what this reality, illusion is. It's a living, inner, experiential message, just like your dream is. It has information being passed on. It's huge, and it creates this whole reality. That's how big the message is. And a lot of it's, you know, about the ultimate unconditional eternal love of eternity, somehow filtering down into this 3D world. It gets so distorted. We want to take it literally. We want to take everything logically and literally. We can't do that. We get way out. That's what the illusion does to us. It distracts us from looking at things intuitively, how you sense things are, how you can reinterpret it if you take it symbolically instead of literally. And I think, you know, a symbol holds so much more information than a literal, maybe verbal type expression. But you've got to be able to feel it in the sense that you can't read a symbol like you can read literal, you know, verbal information. You've got to sense it. And in that way, you can transfer way more information. And there's way less distortion. You know, what we got here is just a big distortion of some pure essence of existence. It's just way beyond this reality is able to really express. This 3D reality is just limited, confined, and finite. It's finite. I give a shit when, you know, you look out there in the stars and it looks infinite, but it's not. It's finite. This whole reality, this whole creation had a creation point, a beginning. You know, pretty much every human story about creation has a creation point. If you got a creation, if you got a beginning, you have an ending. It's just the way this whole natural universe works. It's just cycles. And even the universe, the reality itself, comes to an end and recycles and starts up again. I don't know, it's just some automatic program running on some super giant artificial intelligent computer generating all this, or what? But it seems mechanical in nature in a lot of ways. It's weird, but it takes a lot of forms. It can be like pure energy and spirit. It can be like mechanical and artificial. It's natural. It's art. It's weird. It's like it can be whatever you think it should be. Which is another part of the literal translation that gets us all off track. But like, take this little town, Villanueva, New Mexico. I come down here from Wyoming. I was looking for someplace good to go because I didn't have any. And I needed someplace good to go, or else I probably wasn't going to make it very far. I was crippled up, hitchhiking down here with nothing but a bedroll and a little bag of clothes. About as minimal possessions as you could possibly have. Hoboing it all the way. It took 6 days to hitchhike down here from Wyoming, 2 states away. I couldn't believe it. I hadn't hitchhiked in like years, but it never used to be that rough to catch a ride. Thousands of cars would go by before one would stop. And every time the person that stopped was always just really super kind, kind of spiritually minded, just generous-hearted person that just can't drive by and not stop. And they were rare. Hundreds of cars would have to go by before one of them would stop, go by. I started to kind of pick that pattern up over those 6 days. It showed me out there in society where most people are. Most people are too afraid to stop and help. There's just these few diehards that are out there that are still going, awake, realizing, there's some things you don't do. And when somebody's asking you for help, you just don't keep going like it didn't happen. And they know that. It's not about what we affect on this level, this reality level, this physical world. It's about what's going on inside us on that inner fear. I don't know what the word is. I want to say sphere, but it's kind of like a phase. I don't know. It's just a sphere of ourselves inside. That's what I can come up with. But anyway, I manifested in my mind. I know this place was always here from whenever they first settled here, and has a history and all that that's outside myself. It doesn't involve me at all until I came here. But in my way, my understanding of manifestation, I made this place. It didn't exist until I got here. And that's pretty much the way it is when we manifest everything. We're manifesting all the time. Actually, every moment is a new manifestation. This whole reality illusion, it like recreates itself, refreshes itself. It's like it hits the refresh button every moment. Bam, 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 bam. Maybe nanoseconds. So fast you really can't tell. It's impossible to detect. But it's like still frames. Boom, 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 boom. And maybe there's no alteration in the next still frame, and maybe there's a little one. Maybe there's a big one. And it's how things kind of just suddenly happen. Nobody sees it come up. Boom, there it is. The next still frame. Is how we can make adjustments. Constantly readjusting to our reactions of our experience of this reality. The reality reacts back and makes adjustments. Continue. Make it continuous. Make it look continuous. Anyway, when we manifest things, they come complete. They're self-contained. They have their own history, their own existence. That's outside of us. It has nothing to do with us. Well, when we come into contact with them, whether it's another person, a place like this, It's an instant manifestation into our lives, into our reality. And in that sense, we just now manifested this whole thing, this person and their whole life history, their existence, or this town, and even a bigger, longer existence. It didn't exist until you got here and made it happen. And we're always calling these things in subconsciously. I do a lot of subconscious work. I gotta take a break for a minute. I'm gonna light this cigarette and think. Pause. Okay, I'm back, but the stand fell over. I was moving around earlier, now I'm trying to get back to where I was. I don't know if I can. Anyway, how's that? I had to go satisfy my nicotine fit. Another manifestation of my existence. You know, that's what we really manifest. People want to manifest certain things: abundance, love, relationships, jobs. Some part of their existence. A very small part, usually, when you consider the whole of your existence. And that's what we're really manifesting. We're manifesting our existence. None of this is like what it appears to be. Reality that's going on, without us, if we're not here. It's really not. We're manifesting the whole reality and our existence within it. And we have personal manifestations, and we have collective manifestations that this whole reality provides for us. It's the way it works. And we're down here on a very dense level of vibration. It's different. When you raise your vibrations, it changes your manifestations. And it's really because you're changing your consciousness, your perceptions, which alters, your subconscious interpretation of all that. And see, here's something that's going on. There's communication going on between your conscious mind and the subconscious. Pretty much one way, all the time. From the conscious to the subconscious. Subconscious reads everything symbolically, though. It doesn't take things literal. It knows how to interpret the message on a symbolic level. The message that is this reality. If you look at it like your whole existence, your manifestation of this existence, and this reality to exist within, being communication, huge communication, like on your most hugest eternal self. And I don't know what the message really is all about. There's a lot of different ways to interpret it and experience it. The message it is communication. And our subconscious mind seems to read it more correctly, symbolically, than we do with our conscious interpretations and logical interpretations or literal explanations for it all. And that's when we just get off into it too far. And we're just kind of deluding ourselves, thinking we got some kind of facts or figures or truth about something, and really it's nothing. There's nothing there. We're just making it up as we go along. Because basically this is all made up. You need a storyline, some kind of history, a timeline to, that's how this works. You gotta provide a context. You got to provide a storyline to exist within. And there's a collective one and a personal one. And there's many versions, many billions of versions of each one. And some of these versions are very different from each other. Some of them are very identical, the same. And sometimes I feel like, what people are talking about, timelines converging or changing. That may be something that's really going on. I experienced some something like that myself. But what I'm noticing is if I want to shift timelines, what I would call a timeline or a storyline, I call them storylines. If I want to shift storylines from one version to another, existences, from one existence to another, one version of it, I change my routine. Find some little routine that I do all the time and change it, stop it, or altering it is better. And just kind of be a natural alteration. Just like, well, what would you do if you didn't do this? Do that instead. And you pretty much have just shifted timelines right there, storylines. So it's a whole different existence now. And it may look like you only changed one thing, but that little thing that you changed, that little routine, alters a lot of reality sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't have much effect. Sometimes it has a ton. Coming out here and cleaning up the dirt that was all full of this glass and garbage everywhere where the garden is. I cleaned up all this dirt just on my knees, picking up crap for weeks until I got it all clean. Where I come out here barefoot and grow stuff and it's good and clean. Happy environment. That's established a new routine for me, a whole new kind of form of existence, having this garden present and having to deal with it. And I created it, dug it up, cleaned it right up out of the dirt. You know, this house had been lived in for 100 years. There's a ton of garbage in this dirt. I got it all out. That had to be a blessing right there in itself. Just cleaning this little spot of dirt up had to be something special. But it, you know, it creates a manifestation of, I think, me finding this place and it's manifesting it into my life to have a good home. And the way it all works here is just real perfect for me. A lot of ways, it's real perfect. The house is falling down. It's a bit of a problem. I don't know how much longer it might last. It could go quite a ways. It could be done by this winter. Who knows? But and that probably is a symbol of kind of where I am physically in my older part of my life. But it's also about how shaky anywhere I establish myself in this reality. It's always very tenuous. It's always very iffy. It doesn't matter. I just, you know, ever since day one when I was born, I've had a very tenuous hold on this existence. And sometimes it gets very shaky because it's loose, very loose. Anyway, what else? I better take another break. Anyway, the neighbor's cleaning the pool over here. I don't know if you can hear it. I can. So I'm gonna go over here to my backyard. Exit this way. I try to come out here barefoot as much as possible to leave DNA in the soil, my DNA specifically. Soil is, that's basically what soil is. Soil is DNA from everything. It's just loaded with it. But when you get yours mixed into it and you're growing stuff from it, it makes a stronger connection. It makes a stronger bond. There's more of an exchange specifically between you and the plant. The plant's ability to provide whatever you may need more specifically, whatever your needs may be. And that's the whole thing between my medical part. I've been doing this for 2 generations now. The old tradition, folk tradition, is if you suck on your seeds for a few minutes before you plant them, there'll be more benefit to you, whether it's food or medicine or whatever you're growing. And so, you know, I've always kind of done that for a while, but I really didn't ever get the full benefit or the fruits of it until last year. With my medical. This is second generation. And the seeds that I got last year. And both of them have been fused with my DNA by me sucking on the seeds before I plant them. The first thing those roots come in contact with when they come out of the shell of their seed is my DNA. And that's what roots do in the soil. They read DNA. You know, they gather nutrients, but it's all got DNA attached. And it tells the plant about its local environment, what shape the DNA is, what kind of DNA it is, and all these different things about what's going on in its local environment. And the plants are genetically engineered from whoever seeded this planet to respond in a way of, you know, to be of service to the environment. Even if they have to sacrifice themselves, they are genetically engineered to be of service to their environment in whatever way possible that they're able to provide as the plant they are. Plants are huge teachers. That's all there is to this. They are a huge example to follow, to live by, to adapt into your own way of being. As however you experience yourself existing, whether it's as a human or something more. There's kind of like that. You know, the reality is what we manifested into being, and it's all made up as we go along. But there are like certain little ways and rules that we create. We're creating them. We're manifesting them that make the reality respond in a way that it wouldn't respond in otherwise. It's about as simple as I can put it. And the reality is responding to my plants. And the plants are responding to me. And there's an exchange there going on between me and them of providing what I may more specifically need from a marijuana plant if it wasn't otherwise infused. And it might be a big step for a lot of medicines to be able to do this. Take patients' DNA and just, you know, infuse the production of the medicine itself right from day one with the seed or whatever it is you're using. I gotta go this way. Oh no. I hung washout on the line yesterday and it got blown around, looks like. That's not where I left that. The sheets. Now check this out, you guys. This is my little miniature greenhouse. Right here, let me set this stuff down. There's some seeds I collected in there. I made this all from junk. This is all stuff I salvaged and scavenged and whatever you call it. This shower door stuff. Here's a piece of glass the neighbor gave me. This is a piece of glass out of a fridge shelf. Here's another window piece of glass. Got to be refixed. More shower wall stuff. And all this board and stuff was just lumber that was laying around. Made a little door that just opened up like a hatch in the back. Oops. Get that off there. Thing back here. Anyway, there. And it works great. This really works well. It really works well. I gotta get it buttoned up for the winter, but it's still in good shape. It's all pure junk. Even the nails are nails I salvaged out of the junk lumber around here. Didn't cost a penny. There's another good sitting spot. This is my little fire pit. I have sitting spots where I do my little meditations and whatever you want to call it. I just sit and listen. Oh, I forgot my stuff. Anyway, this is one. Out there by the peach tree, underneath the peach tree by the pot plants, that's another one. That therapy chair on the porch, another one. And the therapy chair inside. So I guess I got 4 spots. This is the fireside. I gotta get this washing. Oh, so anyway, we're talking about manifestation and timeline storylines, altering our realities. Basically what we're talking about. I mean, you hear it a lot. People are trying to teach others how to manifest abundance in their lives. And really what you're talking about is altering reality. And it's the same thing as healing. Or any of it. Healing is altering reality. Manifesting abundance is, if it actually happens, alters your reality. It doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your reality. And so that's what we're really after. We're after altering our reality. Now, can that altering of the whole reality include more financial, whatever? Yeah. That's what you're after. I think, if anybody really wants to try to specifically manifest a part or a phase of their existence, they should be trying to wake up. Manifest that. Everybody try working on that. Let's manifest some awake shit. The rest is all distraction from waking up. I think a lot of times our lives are orchestrated, maybe divinely, whatever that divine means, but from the origin, from the source, which is all, to me, a little iffy, because of creation, having a beginning and an ending. And apparently a creator does too. And we're not talking about eternity. We're not talking about our truest, highest self, which is eternal. And we experience ourselves as the whole dimension of eternity. We're not just a little being inside eternity like we are in this reality. We are the whole dimension, the whole reality of eternity. We're on that level. And basically that's what we are here. We just can't see it. We are this whole reality right here, this 3D dimension reality. We are it too. It's just we experience it more isolated, in an isolated form. And it could be a human form, it could be a plant form, it could be a rock form, it could be any kind of form. It could be a breeze drifted on by. Everything has consciousness. Everything has the same consciousness. It's like interwoven into the web, or if you could imagine this as a three-dimensional monitor or TV screen. And what the screen itself is made out of to project the images and the experience of reality is infused with consciousness. So that's what provides the platform for everything to be projected onto. And so anything that comes out of that screen or becomes projected onto the screen is infused with consciousness, the same consciousness that the screen has. That's what it is. There's this web, the 0-point web. That's the screen. And it's conscious. It's conscious exactly the way you are. We all have the exact same conscious. It's what it is. I know we all have our little personal personalities. Has human, has soul, has heart, that make our consciousness it's more about the perception, not really the conscious itself. Consciousness, it's how we perceive through the consciousness that gets kind of really specifically down to personalities and things like that, personal experiences, individualisms. That's all perception. And the brain does that. I mean, I think the conscious is much more than what we experience as a human. It's the same conscious, but it's more. And that's, the best way I can say it. But when we are able to shed the brain, or we don't even have to leave the body, to leave the brain like die or have a near-death experience. I've had 9 near-death experiences, and every one of them was different. Some were these huge experiences, and some were 0. The last one was just pure black the whole time. But I knew immediately upon returning that I had been sent back. That was sent back. No, not yet. You got blood on your hands. Mine. And a whole bunch of other crap. Anyway, really deep descent at that point. I just better pause. That triggers. Oh, we gotta talk about triggers. That's why nobody wakes up. We're all running on programs. Anyway, it triggered some kind of program response that, I've really become aware of how much shit triggers us into some kind of program. And we seem conscious. We feel conscious and we think we're conscious, but we're not. We're running on a program. And the program is like a pre-recorded thing. It's from, I know, hang on, Tub's down there hollering at me, let him in. Hang on. I ran out of coffee. It's getting windy outside. There you go, Tub. We need to get inside and get some fresh, huh? Fresh cat food. Need some fresh coffee. Yeah. How's your fresh down there? My fresh is empty. Your fresh is okay? Oh, you want some? What do you think? All right, let me just do this. Number back in there. There we go. Fresh. How about? There you go. Anyway, part of the life here. Now look. This house is 100 years old, and if I pick up one of these bricks on this floor, there's dirt underneath it. There's dirt underneath the cement. I'm just like right on the ground. And earlier in that previous video, I was mentioning how there are like little rules or ways of doing things that provide, more alteration to the reality than we're trying to alter reality. Like take a ritual, a ceremony, things like that. Those things are, engineered and energized to change something. Healing, however, energetic healing may be performed. It's an alteration of reality. You've changed reality. You changed that person's reality. And who's ever, with that person. Especially when, they get better. And, you can really feel those things. It's something that you normally don't feel occurring. It's obvious it's something that's not common. But it happens. It happens all the time. And so, like, when we're manifesting or trying to manifest anything specifically, other than trying to wake up, I would say we're trying to just alter reality. And really, that's what the name of the game is all about anyway. That's what waking up is. It's waking up to the realization that you can't alter this whole reality. Everything you experience, everything you're existing in. And not just this one, but the reality of your soul, which may be very different than you've been taught so far. Soul is very much attached to these, like, physical existences that we have. There's billions of them. We've managed to be born and then die or go through some kind of renewal, rebirth, and, like, cease to exist, experience death. It's the cycles of this reality. It all runs in cycles, even reality itself. I gotta stop. Oh, anyway, no, the triggers. I got distracted by coming in. I wanted a cup of coffee. Sometimes when I lose my train of thought, I just need to take a break. But it was the triggers. I started working with Allison J.K., who was energetic. And she was okay to introduce me into the whole concept of what subconscious programs are and how they get triggered. And then I just kind of took the ball and ran, like I usually do, with the information. Basically, you know, I like to get to the point where I've had enough experience to define the situation myself in my own terms and my own understanding, not somebody else's. Somebody else's is somebody else's. That's their information. And sometimes, you know, in general, when, you know, they fill you in on something, you need that information, somebody else's. But then you need to go out and discover and uncover and realize your own information about the subject and have your own experience, your own perception, and your own definition of what it is. Otherwise, you're just, you know, you're running on empty. You ain't got nothing. Somebody else's information is not information other than to lead you to go discover your own. I got a little, what? You don't need cat food. No, not you too. I call her Me Too because she always says, me too. Go feed Toby inside. Me too. Huh, me too. Yeah, me too. But you're a neighbor kitty. You're a neighbor kitty. You don't get to go in the house and eat. There's the soup line in the back for you vagabonds. Soup line in the back. Yes, hello. Anyway, this is the other spot. I don't know where I want to sit. It's noisy over here. Kind of windy in back. Where should we sit, Me Too? I don't know, maybe the wind dying down. It seemed like it was getting windy back there earlier. Yeah, see, it's windy back here. And I know it kind of makes noise on the video when we do it. Oh, I still need to get that. Where did I put all my stuff? I must have took that stand inside. Anyway, okay, but here's what we need to do. I need to take a break. And we will come back and talk about triggers and all. Hi, I love you. More than you know. Love you so much. Everyone. Everything. The only thing you can do when you get to this point, you just fall in love with everything. I know we were talking about triggers, but that's what every conversation needs to be opened up with. Enhancing our ability to fall in love with everything unconditionally. I know I kind of jump around from subject to subject. One thing leads to another. My mind, my train of thought, boy, it gets going. I don't finish talking about what I start. And it makes it hard for making videos that way. But we're talking about triggers. We're talking about manifesting. And right now, what was I talking about? That's what kind of helps about having those videos. I can go back and see where I left off and remind myself what I was talking about. I look at the video and I lose my train of thought. There goes the noise of the neighbors again. Can you guys hear that? I can edit and delete all this. Let me see what this sounds like. How do I even use this? Hi, I'm back. I love you. I'm back on the porch in front of the house on the outside therapy chair. It's weird. Each sitting spot that I mentioned earlier in the video, this video right here, right now that I'm making, scattered little videos. I'll probably put them all together somehow, edit and splice. And I was thinking this would be a summation of some of the things I talked about, but didn't really get into much detail about or finish talking about. But it might run at the start. I might run this video at the start and just go with a kind of a preclusion of what I got coming up. Anyway, this is each one of my sitting spots that I mentioned earlier. There's 4 different little chairs, and 3 outside, 1 inside. And when you do energy work or deep inner work, at the same time, same place, especially like meditation. Right now I'm talking about the place. The places we use to do deep inner work and really work with our energies leave a residual kind of energy in that spot, in that area. After continued use for a while, it builds up and there's a residual there. And so when I sit down in these places, I kind of sit into those older energies that have been established there. And the one out in the garden underneath the peach tree is very much all about the sanctuary and the peace and the happiness and the inner peace and happiness, kind of unfolding out around me. This chair is directed at the garden, in the garden, and it's all about the practical aspect of gardening and my life and the practical things and the practical side of things. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, why am I making these videos? I was going on about all these deep subjects earlier, just blah, 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 blah. And some part of me is very comfortable doing that. Some part is like, why? What is the motivation? What is the purpose? And it almost, in a lot of ways, it just feels like I'm talking to myself. But then sometimes I think some magical little soul or person out there will hear it and respond, or be able to inwardly respond. Then there's another part of me that's off in the deep end going, this high-tech video is like the most effective form of communication we have right now. I can sit here and look you in the eye and tell you something, and it's almost just like being here with me. But what I'm really learning right now, most recently over the summer, is how much more effective just opening your heart and sending out this love for everything, this unconditional love. And there's, unconditional love means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I really should be defining it more clearly, what I'm talking about. I'm trying to avoid words like chakras, things like that most people have heard, understand in a way that whatever. But, it almost takes a cleaner perception. That's what I do with a lot of the information that I use from other people to lead me to places where I can uncover my own information. I try to forget everything I heard. Look at it with a completely clean slate. Yeah, you're here now where you can learn about it yourself. Drop what you know. First thing in learning, forget everything you know. It all changes in a few minutes anyway. As soon as you learn something else, everything you knew before that has changed. So it's just pointless to hang on to it. Just let it go. Start clean. And then you come up with your own terms, your own ideas and concepts. You have to build your own little language around some of it because there aren't words for it. If you get it across clearly, it's a bit of a mental leap sometimes. But I think there's like inwardly, there's some common simple words that communicate very clearly in a way that don't lock us into any certain perspectives. It's just kind of open perspective, open simple words. And what I mean by open heart is an experience that I have of myself, just totally on a very high spiritual vibration. It starts with ecstatic laughter. Usually happens at the onset of my physical therapy or during physical therapy. My morning routine is usually meditation, and I do what I call my dream work, which is another form of meditation with an intended purpose, to work with the subconscious program and recognizing them to the ways that they get triggered. That's all subconscious material, and you can't consciously interpret it literally. It takes a lot of subconscious work and deep meditation. You basically enter into a self-induced hypnosis. There's a yoga technique, Nigra, maybe, I can't remember that might be close. Nigra yoga, where you go into the deep state of, an almost self-hypnosis. And you can use a word or a concept, term, and from the logical side of your brain, the logical interpretation of that word or concept, experience it in a dream state of subconscious, almost simultaneous. And what you're learning how your subconscious interprets your logical conscious thinking, symbolically. Instead of trying to interpret the dream, you're just watching how the dream reads your reality in the first place. This is kind of some out there stuff, but I don't know, I just get these pauses